The Ultrasabers Prophecy V3 lightsaber hilt, which is what we have here, is one of my favorite Ultrasabers lightsaber hilts. So let's go over some of the reasons why. Now, one of the first things I love about this hilt, you guys, is just the silhouette of the hilt is very much like a lightsaber. So if you kind of trace around the edges and showed someone that as a picture, they'd be like, oh yeah, that's a lightsaber. And part of that is probably, from some of the tapers here, but especially I think the slanted emitter makes it look more like a lightsaber than, say, like a flashlight or something more flat on the top. I like these greeblies at the top. These are quite nice. The kind of brass coloring contrasts, the rest of the silver color of the hilt. You have a very nice grip section here, although the cover tech wheel is sort of oddly placed. That's, maybe kind of a downside of it, although you could remove this if you wanted to and, install a D-ring or do something else like that. This is an Anakin Skywalker Episode 2 lightsaber hilt kind of design, or, looks very similar to that hilt, although it doesn't have all of the design features to it, so like, it doesn't have the grips included, so I know a lot of people will customize this hilt by adding their own T-track grips like this all around the hilt. And you can pick up T-track grips from lots of different sellers. Custom Saber Shop is a pretty major seller that provides those or has them for sale. So you can check that out. There's also not an activation box on the hilt, but some people don't like activation boxes, especially if they plan on dueling with the hilt or the saber. So, some people may like that. You do have these kind of interesting holes at the top too. So when this is an installed saber, you get some light that'll peek out. So they're kind of, I don't know if you quite, I guess they're windows in the emitter area, but it's just a little bit of light that will peek out. But yeah, it's a really neat hilt, you guys. The price point is also quite good. So this hilt is basically right on the edge, kind of between the budget-friendly hilts that Ultrasaber sells, right between that and their more high-end hilts. And that's in terms of the price. So the stunt saber, at least, as of the posting of this video, the stunt saber for the Prophecy V3 is $104. So, that's relatively affordable. And also the design is kind of reflective of that price point. So it's not like a super, super basic flashlighty design. Some of the more basic Ultrasabers lightsabers get accused of being a little too flashlighty. It's also not super complex. It doesn't have lots of different coloring, lots of different features and things going on, or claws or whatever. So it's relatively basic. It gives you a lot of opportunity to customize it if you want. And also the basic design makes it a little more appealing for like spinning and lightsaber dueling, because you don't usually want there to be too many things like sticking out of the hilt if you want to do either of those things. But that's a nice aspect of this. Now, Ultrasabers sometimes is accused of making hilts that are too large, but if you look at this hilt, it's not overly large. At least I don't think so. So yeah, it's sort of like this hilt is the crossroads, of a lot of the good things about Ultrasabers lightsaber hilts. It's a decent price point. It looks like a lightsaber, but it's not overly fancy, because, sometimes things seem to go a little overboard. I don't mean that as anything against Ultrasabers specifically, just, design in general can either be relatively simple and basic and elegant, or it can be complex and in some cases overly complex, although it's really a matter of opinion. But I do like the simplicity of the hilt design, but at the same time, it looks like a lightsaber. I guess that's really the point of this video in general. Ultrasabers Prophecy V3 is a pretty neat hilt. And feel free to comment below what are some of your favorite Ultrasabers hilt designs and why. Are you getting any Ultrasabers hilts soon? I'd love to hear from you.